then everybody in our locker room has to take it upon themselves to not give in to fatigue. I personally feel like fatigue shows up far more mentally than it does physically. And we're playing a bunch of people, and nobody really is playing super heavy minutes for our team. We play as a group on both ends of the floor. And so we've got to find a way, as the game goes on, we hit a tough moment, to not just give in. The energy that our team was playing with on the offensive end in the first half was inspiring. Like, that's what I want it to look like. That's what we want it to look like. That's what they want it to look like. And in the second half, I thought, credit to Dallas, I thought they dictated the tempo of the game. Luka and Kyrie are very, very good about doing that. But when we get the ball, they don't get to dictate the tempo that we play with. And I felt like we were just a little bit slow getting down the court. Like, you could just see it in our body language a little bit, us moving down the floor. And that's going to take, a lot of effort and attention from our staff and from our team. Again, we've got a lot of young players playing more minutes than they're used to. And 48 minutes is a long time. And I think that we're not in a situation where we can rely on anybody else. Like, we have to find it within ourselves in those moments. Like, we don't have one person that we just throw the ball to and go, okay, I'm going to go over here and rest for a minute while you do your thing. We need all 5 players participating and doing their jobs on every possession for us to create good shots.
You talked pregame about Taylor's growth offensively, specifically against Luka. How do you think he did tonight?
I think he did okay. He had some really good moments. And his length showed up. Obviously, Luka didn't shoot the ball great from 3. 10 for 24 from the floor is a pretty valiant effort on Luka for sure. But I think there were some possessions where Taylor got opened up a little bit. So we talked about pregame. Like, you have to be perfect when you guard Luka with your foot positioning. We let him get back to his right hand a few times and get into his body. Went for a couple of shot fakes, which, that takes time and repetition. Luka's one of the best players in the league, and so I get it. Like, you react when he looks like he's going to shoot, especially when we're preaching contesting and playing hard and all those things. But I think all in all, Taylor did a pretty good job. It's not as good as we want it to be. It's not as good as he wants it to be. But I think that Taylor is where he should be right now in terms of, the arc of his development. He's gotten a lot of really valuable minutes against good players. And, tonight was another night where he got a lot of opportunity to guard a really special player.
The data shows that the refs are calling kind of fewer shooting fouls over the last few weeks, few months of the season than they were at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had a conversation with the team about kind of what to expect from the referees? I thought it was a little bit different than I thought tonight was a good example of that.
Yeah, we've tried to preach from the very beginning of the season that, don't expect anything. Don't ask for anything. I'll handle the refs. I want them to try to keep level heads and play. The physicality of the game, if it's changed, if the whistle has changed, all we ask for is consistency on both ends of the floor. I didn't feel like tonight it was inconsistent in terms of, like, we weren't getting something Dallas was getting. But, because we aren't necessarily the biggest team in the league, if some more physicality is going to be allowed, we have to rise to that challenge. I think we've got to continue as a team to be more physical on the defensive end. But offensively, outside of the last month or couple of weeks that you're referring to, I've been telling our team a lot, like, we have a lot of young players. Like, Keontae, you're a rookie. You shouldn't expect to get a good whistle at all. Young players have to earn that. And, Lowry, I think,